Hello everyone, this is part 2, Universal Mathematical Phenomenon. You know, it's interesting that all the laws of the universe have been the same since the beginning of time. You know, when we figure out what they are and apply a law in the right way, then we get the miracle, the blessing, and it's all tied right into the life process of our cells. Father discovered the sodium-potassium pump. Then he wrote formulas for what shuts it off and how we turn it back on again. It's the cause of all the problems, secrets to all the solutions. And it's interesting that that formula for death is like the tree of death. Everything we think, say, and do in a lower way, then it actually decreases our love and our life. And everything we think, say, and do in a greater way increases our love and our life and our intelligence in an empowerment way. And everything we focus on with empowerment, it's like there's teams of light that help us when we empower ourselves and others. And it's like there's teams of lower entities that help us when we disempower people, when we're about power and control. Anything that focuses in one or the other will expand in a greater and greater way until people learn the lesson from that. And George Washington said, "The marvel of all history is the patience with which men and women submit to burdens unnecessarily laid upon them by their governments." And it's interesting how many governments have just, how long have we been allowing entities of any kind to have any focus in control and power, where anytime they focus in that, when they're about power and control, it just gets worse and worse until we learn the lesson. It's part of the truths of the universe. All the laws of the universe hinge off of the laws of love and peace. Everything. Every single thing. So it's interesting the math behind that, what we're looking at with the mathematical phenomenon. If you didn't see part 1, go see it. If you haven't printed out a mathematical phenomenon, the PDF, it's at clarityuniversity.com. Click on the history tab and scroll down. You'll see that there. Again, this hasn't been given to any mathematical departments of any universities, anything. Some of the patterns that we started forming, I showed you that I was starting to play around with some pieces. I've actually taped some pieces together. I'm going to show you like this. This is 4 pieces that I've taped together. And I've aligned the 9s. I've got a 9 down here on this corner and the 9 in the opposite corner. Just how I taped it together this time. That's not how you have to do it. But then one of the next things I started to do is, let's see what we can do here. I gotta have you see this. Okay. One of the next things I started to do is just take these corners and pull them together. Just like so. So these corners, when you pull them together like this, all the numbers are matching. And if you notice, we're actually looking at the chart that we showed you earlier. All the numbers are in alignment. Everywhere where we taped them, it's the same number that we taped them on. And when we pull them together like this, it's actually the same numbers that are just coming together. And on the opposite side, we could also take another one of these and stick it on the back side, or take another one of these and stick it, opposite, like I showed you before. This is like kind of pyramid math. It's toroidal math, I think. It's which everything in the universe is made up of. It's sacred geometry, like the tree of life, tree of death, the flower of life. I think the whole universe is created with just a big love flower of life. That's kind of what I call it. And we could also stretch it out like this, sort of, but when we do it, it's kind of, you can play around with it, do all kinds of different things with it. One of the first things that I did was just take, and I rotated these with these, sort of, I just did it with a couple of them. There's all kinds of ways you can play around with this. You take it and sort of turn it to where this goes this way, that goes that way. I just sort of does it with 2 of them. It's kind of like that. See that? It's interesting, the patterns, and again, these you could add, you know, you can start making these and then whole bunches more of these in lots of different ways. It's kind of interesting, you know. This is just 4 of them stuck together, and you know, it's interesting how the math, when we start taking others, how we can, again, take them like this, or you know, lots of different things, how that works. One of the main points that I want to get across right now is the way that I think about things is that everything we think, say, and do in a greater way, we increase our intelligence in an empowerment way. There's 2 different types of intelligence. There's intelligence of empowerment based in truth and light, and there's intelligence based in disempowerment, like lying, cheating, like killing people for power and money. That's what all that leads to. It's all those things. When we focus in power, control, manipulation, all that's from the dark side. And if you want to know where someone's coming from, all you gotta see is it about power and control, or is it about freedom, empowerment, love? You know, is it empowering you or disempowering you? You can find out where they're coming from. That's basically real crash course in spirit of discernment. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel lighter or heavy? So all the stress takes the energy right out of you. Are you feeling good about what you're doing with your life? Anyway, all of this, we're basically duplications of God. And we don't know any limits. No matter what race or religion, when someone puts a principle into action, then they get the results. Doesn't matter what background they have. You know, that's just the fact. And all the laws of the universe have been the same since the beginning of time, in different cultures, different tribes, and so forth, different lineages. They've been studying principles the best they can. They've had their own talents and areas that they've been able to discover things and progress. And we don't start out at the same place, but since everything's interconnected, that whole circle of truth, the more we go around it, the stronger it becomes until that perfect day. I got more information about this, way more, in the Applied Lymphology course. It's the science of sciences. It's really the science behind all the law that I've been mentioning, which hinges from the laws of love and peace. It incorporates all the systems in the body. Most people study one system, like the endocrine glands. That's a major focus because they're the main energy centers, and they produce all the hormones in the body. If you take hormone replacement therapy in any way, those glands think they don't need to work as much anymore. They decrease their energy, which then discovery 6 of the 7 golden discoveries my father taught, they lock those blood proteins, which are the water magnet and the sodium magnet, and it forms clots. Now they make people sign waivers, so when they have a stroke, they're not liable. We were predicting that. I was predicting that right in the beginning when they first started that, before they had all the results and the statistics that they have today. It's because we've understood the process all along. So if you understand the process, just look at all the principles that are being applied where in your environment, and you can see through things a lot faster. So it's serious empowerment, you guys. I was able to, all 3 of my kids have photographic memories of what I did with them in the womb, and so far I've been teaching it ever since. Every single student that I know that's applied the principles with their kids in the womb, their kids are the same. They're born super healthy with their eyes open. They all have photographic memory, like straight A's, super talented in anything they decide to pursue. They're amazing, easy to get along with. So we can upload data files like the English language, gift of music, all kinds of different things in a very short period of time. It is I just kind of giving it a plug right now, some of the other things that are in the Applied Lymphology course. It is the leading edge of education, includes secrets of education that are the fastest, easiest, most effortless. In my opinion, feminine principles are the effortless, the listening, receiving. If you're listening to this right now, you're receiving. My goal is to help you receive a lot more. Nobody's turned away. There's an application. If you go to zerodisease.com, most doctors want credit for someone's disease. They're looking for a disease. I've got the opposite paradigm, looking for helping people be super healthy. But there's an application that click on lymphology tab. You'll see a rough, not very detailed description of the course, because we have to be careful of the type of claims that we make. And I'm not guaranteeing that anyone will have kids with photographic memories, but I'd like to, as time goes on, you put the principles into practice, you'll see. I had to take the leap of faith for myself. To be honest, it would be nice if I'd have had that opportunity to be one of those kids. I wouldn't maybe appreciate it so much if I hadn't gone through everything that I've gone through. I tell my kids all the time that, but go check it out. No one's turned away. Never turn anyone away, regardless of financial circumstances. Focus on what's comfortable for you. Fill out the application that's there. It's designed to help you forget about what you can't do financially and focus on what's comfortable so you can have access to the greatest empowerment possible right now. Go to it and play around with, this, and maybe you'll discover some things that you can share with me, share with some other people. I always like to give credit where credit's due, because it's like the Tower of Babel when people start thinking, how can we even do this without God? And what happened there is a massive disintegration because they didn't have integrity, integration and integrity. When we do that with each other, we disintegrate as well. We don't retain even as much, maybe even half as what we could have, not even the most important half. It's important to give all the teachers, everyone you've learned great secrets from and success from, always give them credit for what they've done, okay? We've been seeing it for decades, how this is played out in students of ours. We've got a lot of students that have become great celebrities and super famous, so give credit where credit's due, and we want to give you credit for whatever success you have too. We love to share the success, share the miracles. Okay, this is Dr. Stephen Ezra West, nicknamed Dr. Ez, signing off here in Sedona, Arizona. You have a beautiful day.